We want to start our practice session each time right now with a good control of the bow. So we need to first understand what is happening with the arm as we reduce and relax into the hand. So first, if you want to experience this, air bow and feel. This is oscillation from this. As you see, nothing is moving here. Okay? Now I'm going to have an imaginary screw, and I'm going to loosen this, so now I have a elbow. It's going to reduce the motion on my shoulder. It will be a little bit, but as you see, everything is stiff here, but I'm moving from my elbow. Never do I bring my elbow too low, I keep it up. So there I am, and now I'm moving from my elbow primarily. It's isolating here, but I can use a little bit of that too. Yeah, but as you see, we're everywhere. Now I'm going to try to keep this sort of in this area, but I can't because I don't have a wrist. It's going to do this. No matter what I do, it's really difficult to keep it in this area. Let's take an imaginary screw and let's now loosen this right here. Now I have a wrist. Okay, here I have a wrist. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to air bow again. And just generally, I'm just trying to keep it in this area. But it's easier because I have a wrist now. I can make it collapse. I can pull it up. I can collapse it. But now I'm using both shoulder, elbow, and wrist, combination of all three. And now I'm able to keep it relatively close to this area. Now I'm going to do the last thing and then loosen these imaginary screws on the top of the hand. And that's going to then drop those fingers, relax them, and on the inside of this hand right here, I'm not going to be pushing in like this with the bow, the finger on the bow per se. I'm going to be doing this on the bow. And so when I go from stiff to drop, I'm going to drop. Here's the inside, stiff to drop. Everything comes a little bit closer, keeping the orientation as if I'm pouring tea into the cello. There we do this. And then I'm going to add that motion to, now I'm going to have fingers, top of the knuckles, wrist, elbow, and shoulder, all in tandem. And I'm going to see how much I can remain. Now it's so much easier. I'm using my fingers, using my wrist, using my elbow, using my shoulder, and then it's so much easier to maintain. But it's still a little heavy because we don't play with the bow suspended in the air. The bow hold, in that sense, or how we can guide the bow, is intended for the bow to be balanced on the string. And hence, we're going to put it on the string, and now we're going to do the same thing, even relax a little bit more. Play some open strings. You have 2 tapes on your cello bow, so maintain it relatively in that area. On some open strings. Understanding that you play the string, it doesn't play you. A string was very recalcitrant, the A string. At any given moment, the A string's a clever girl. At any given moment, the A string will resist and play itself. But you play the A, it doesn't play you. So shoulder, elbow, wrist, top of the knuckles. Not just randomly, but then let's add a meter. Let's add a meter to this process. Here at 72 beats a minute, 2 half notes. Half notes. Take a look. Make sure you're not going to force it, but you're going to relax it. Just because the screws are loose doesn't mean you need to flex, like force a flex in that joint. It's going to all work in a very subtle tandem movement. And D string. It helps to look at the tip of your bow. Is the tip of your bow nice and consistent? Same thing here. Your open strings should always be part of your warm-up. Breathing, relaxing, lifting your chest. And for now, because of this song that we're playing here, we are in the key of C major, and particularly we're going between this octave, which is basically from the 2 to the 4, right here, C at the bottom. So I suggest to have a warm-up of the scale, having a scale going down and going up, of course. With every repetition, if I had 2 tapes, I would imaginary start here and here. I'm relatively remaining in the middle half of the bow. Now I'm going to be also acutely aware that my left arm, now that I'm worked enough, and you would have worked enough to get your elbow and everything here in a melody, not a melody, in a melodious motion, in a very harmonious dance along it, then you can start thinking about the left hand. Not having it here, but having it again, palm above the fingerboard. All 4 fingers down. So this is a warm-up I would like for you to do. And then when you're ready, you can then get into the music with a meter like this. Now this is right here set at 72 to the quarter. So I'm going to play 17. And it would behoove you to memorize this, so you can concentrate on your technique 9. There is an accidental, this F sharp, whole, end, and don't choke the notes. Give it some rosin.